That took so many tries. That's the best I'm gonna come up with. Whatever. I don't care. I'm done. I'm done doing this dumb shit. Also, apologies if you can hear the PC. We're in a fight. We're in a fight right now. I don't know what's going on, but he's giving me some attitude. Review. Today, as I'm not just getting out, but you get the point. We will be talking about Sinners, released April 18th, 2025, directed by Ryan Coogler. Ryan Coogler, you goddamn genius. Let me say something real quick about this movie. This doesn't win an Oscar. I'm not even gonna say what I'm gonna do, but it's gonna be bad. Let me chill out, because I'm gonna get flagged. But no, it is such a great film. I'm still not over it, and it's been about almost 24 hours since I've seen it. I was hearing people say it was a breath of fresh air, and I didn't get that, right? And then I watched the movie. Oh my gosh. Ryan Coogler, I know he's had let me actually not say that, because he's had a lot of good movies, but when I tell you Sinners doesn't touch anything else he's done, that's not an understatement. Michael B. Jordan, oh my gosh, what an actor. Holy smokes. Now, before I say anything else about this movie, I'm gonna throw up that quick spoiler warning for anyone who has not watched Sinners in its entirety and does not want to be spoiled, as I will be talking about this movie in some detail. I suggest you click off the video, come back after you've watched it. It'll be here for you. But if you don't care, you don't care. We welcome you anyway. Now, starting off with this intro, which I loved. We are in 1932 Mississippi. We're post-slavery, but we're pre-civil rights. So that just gives you the tone for where we are, and we're in the South. So we are introduced into, I want to say he's the protagonist of this film. His name is Sammy, or Preacher Boy. He's the son of a pastor in the Mississippi Delta, plays the guitar. Dude, that boy can sing though, let me tell you. Woo! That boy can sing. Who plays him? Miles Caton, but he got some pipes on him. Pause. I knew it the second I said it. Now, we're also then quickly introduced to Michael B. Jordan's characters. Not character, because he's playing twins. Smoke and Stack, or the Smokestack twins. We get the idea that they're not the best people. Apparently, they've been gone for like 7 years. They went down to Chicago, made a killing down there, and now they've come back to Mississippi to open what they call a juke joint. It's like an early nightclub where they'll have food, drink, music, dancing, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Now, this intro, it's so good. The pacing was great. The introductions we get here for the different characters we're gonna be journeying with. Now, Smoke and Stack, them being twins, played by the same guy. Michael B. Jordan was doing his thing, acting-wise. Like, he was giving us two different characters at the same time. I love when someone can do that. We were just talking about that last month in Mickey 17. Of course, Tom Hardy's done that before in the Legend movie. It's so cool watching an actor do that. Basically act them across from themselves in the film. And Smoke and Stack's relationship is so lit. Such a nice, tender, brotherly love. Again, it's crazy thing about how it's one guy playing two brothers. If I had not known who Michael B. Jordan was, I would think he had a twin brother. I'm not gonna lie. We also do meet a couple more characters here. Again, they're trying to put together the juke joint. I guess this is like a last minute thing. They bought some land from, no joke, an ex-Klan member. Quote unquote ex. So they need food, they need music, they need to make sure they got liquor. They gotta make sure they have someone doing security, which is, of course, brings on the man Omar Benson Miller playing Cornbread. The characters in this movie are so funny. Some of them are just hilarious, flat out. Like, they truly are there for comedic purpose. Delta Slim, played by Delroy Lindo, he was cracking me up the whole movie. Now, he's a drunk. He's a drunk that plays the blues. He's a drunk that plays the blues outside of a train station. So I don't think he's that wealthy, right? But he'll do anything for beer. He'll do anything for beer. He's funny, but he be so dead ass with how he talks. There's a scene now where some serious shit goes down, of course, and Delta Slim's like, hold on, y'all smell that? And everyone gets serious for a moment. They stop. I think I shit myself. I guess a big old thumbs up for me. I love that character. Oh my gosh. The juke joint does go off without a hitch, essentially. They get the food, they get the music, everything's going good. For opening night, at least. Oh my gosh. And actually, before I even talk about what happens at that night, we meet Haley Steinfeld's character, Mary. If I was Josh Allen, I couldn't watch this movie, bro. Just from what she does in this film. And I get it, she's an actor. So, you know, you gotta separate the art from the artist. That being said, I could understand why Josh Allen would be a little bit on the cautious side about this movie. I get it though, it's Michael B. Jordan, but damn. First of all, when we introduced to her, she's in a tight dress. And damn, does she look good. Oh my gosh. Her and the another character we meet at the same time, Pearline, honestly gorgeous. Haley Steinfeld's ass cheeks was jiggling when she walked away. Again, Josh Allen, no one will blame you if you got a little upset about that. You know what I'm saying? Ryan Coogler in this scene here, If I could snap with both my hands, I would. Ryan Coogler directed his ass off. At first, I didn't get it, but then it hit me. I was like, okay, no, this is good. This is some good shit right here. Sammy, again, he's a blues player. He loves playing the guitar. He's also a very good singer. So when he gets to strumming that thing, pause. That was crazy. When he gets to playing though, and he starts singing, that boy got some soul. I don't know much about Miles Caden, I think how you pronounce his name. I don't know much about him, right? If that's his natural voice, oh my gosh, dog. The soundtrack and the score was a whole nother thing as well. Beautiful. I gotta listen to the whole soundtrack, but damn. The scene here where they're actually enjoying the music though, it's a very powerful scene that Ryan Coogler decides to put together here, because he's showing us all the different eras that black people have come through music. Let's be honest, black people have created a lot or contributed a lot to music, and whether that be blues, country, rock and roll, of course hip-hop, it goes back to us as a people, and I love that. The scene was fire, and we had this transition where Sammy is singing his heart out, and then the building is on fire. The building burns down. This is not really happening, of course. The camera flips, and we're looking at 3 people standing in the dirt road outside the club. I want to say this is where the intro ends. We do get an earlier shot where we're introduced to the 3 people I mentioned. The main guy named Remick, he knocks on the door of this couple. Of course, this being the South, that's kind of crazy to just do. He does convince the couple that he's actually running from some Native Americans. The Native Americans actually do show up. The lady that we met a second ago, the lady of the home, she's the one that opens the door to the Native Americans, and he gives her basically the rundown like, hey, we're looking for this guy. Have you seen him? If you have, do not let him into your home. He's not who he says he is. He's not a good guy. But if he's already inside the house, we got to act now. But the sun does set. The natives do decide that they're just going to cut their losses and leave. Now, when the lady walks back into her back room looking for her husband now, our man Remick, he's lounging, right? He's chilling. You know what I'm saying? He's cooling. What am I doing, bro? And then, Lord and behold, old dude is lying in a puddle of blood. Of course, old girl starts screaming her head off, but Remick's like, come on now, chill out. He's better now. And then he actually just gets up. It's clear Remick is a vampire. They don't shy away from showing us that. Even when he was running, when we first see him, he's burning in the sunlight. So come on now, what else could he be? He's turned the couple there into vampires. And then, of course, they try to get inside the juke joint, portraying a group of traveling musicians, I think. They're country folk. That's what it is. They're playing country music. Not bad, to be fair. I do believe this is where the intro ends. Cornbread tells these 3, I'm sorry, you can't do it. You can't come in. I guess that does kind of stir some trouble, so Smoke and Stack both check it out. Smoke does tell them, like, I'm sure y'all good people, but we just can't have y'all in here. So they do turn them away. I do want to mention that because, again, these 3 being vampires, it's like a natural vampire thing, right? In the mythology, a vampire can only enter if they are invited in. That still stands. That plays a huge role here. This juke joint, unfortunately, doesn't seem to be doing too well on its first night. It doesn't seem to be making as much money. Haley Steinfeld's character, Mary, given that she's white, passing at least, she decides that, hey, I'll go talk to them and see if they have money. If they have money, I say we bring them in. Mary goes and talks to these people. Now we know as a viewer, these are vampires. She don't know that. She just thinks they're regular, country folk. They do give her a bit of the heebie-jeebies. She decides to turn back, and as she turns back, that boy Remick, this was kind of cool, stands up, jumps in the air, and we see him float, and it cuts. Unfortunately there, Mary does get turned off screen. Would I have liked to see it on screen? I don't know. I don't think it matters though. I don't think it hurts the movie to not show us everything, right? Now, unfortunately, Mary being turned, she, of course, again, being a vampire, she has to be let in. Cornbread does it without even thinking, because that's old girl. Come on. You know what I'm saying? That's the homie. Mary does lure Stack away from the party, and, they get it on a little bit. Again, Josh Allen, I understand if you'd be a little tight watching this, because when Sammy goes to check on Stack and Mary, he opens the door and Mary's going to town. But then when he comes back, Mary has now taken a fat old chunk out of Stack's neck. Smoke sees, naturally so, he pulls out 2 guns and blasts her shit. Doesn't do anything to her. She actually just runs out. That was crazy. But yeah, Stack, and they give us a quite powerful scene here. We watch Stack bleed out. Again, good on Michael B. Jordan. He was acting his ass off, bro. Just showing us all this emotion and shit. And Sammy as well, dude. Oh my god, I love the emotion we're seeing from these 2. But yeah, Stack has died. Smoke, of course, besides himself with his brother passed in front of him, actually in his arms, really. I think that's where the intro ends and we go into the main conflict. They do clear out the juke joint for the night because, of course, the owner just died. So, but that being said, everyone walks outside. You have your thinking cap on. You can see why that's not really the best situation for these people. Stack, of course, now being bit by a vampire only means one thing. He gets back up and he's talking to them. He's begging them. He's like, can you just open this door, please? You can see that he's still got that gaping hole in his neck. Oh my gosh. So yeah, Stack has now become a vampire, and that's just a whole nother thing. I love this movie so much. Again, the pacing works so good here. There's some scenes that I generally didn't just care for, but to be fair, it's like 2 scenes out of the entire film. Other than that, god damn. I'm just gonna talk about a couple things I liked a lot about this movie. Again, the acting, holy smokes, was great. Even our side cast was great. Our main cast was fantastic. The antagonist here, Remick, again being the main vampire, dude, he was terrifying, I'm not gonna lie. And we don't even see him do much. There's a huge fight scene between the living and the undead. That's pretty cool as well. Love the action sequence we do get there. Now, they did kind of just cheaply, I don't want to say cheaply explained how they know to fight against the vampires. Smoke's significant other, Annie, I guess practice hoodoo. She knows a little bit about supernatural stuff and like that, I guess. So she does let them know, like, we're fighting vampires. She kind of just said that. I don't know. It's just, it kind of felt weird. But again, I didn't really care after like 2 seconds, so whatever. Now, again, the score and the soundtrack throughout the whole movie was just beautiful. Let me point out this scene, because when they first do link up with Delta Slim, it seems like he's had some troubles in his life, of course. Understanding that this is, again, 1930 America, so you gotta respect that, you know what I'm saying, where he's coming from. He was part of a whole group of musicians. One of them boys, unfortunately, was killed by the Klan, and when he's describing how his friend dies, we're driving down the road now with Stack, Delta Slim, and Sammy, right? As Slim is explaining how his friend died, we don't hear that we're on a dirt road. We hear, it's like we're hearing the scene of how his friend died, if that makes sense. We actually hear him getting strung up and lynched, which was kind of crazy. I think they did that once or twice in the movie. That type of shit right there, I love. The sound design was so damn good, bro. Everything about this movie with the audio, Ludwig, I can't remember his last name. The composer that Ryan Coogler picked for this movie, golly. Also, the camera work was fantastic. Holy smokes. We were getting some fire shots. Again, that transition I mentioned earlier. I don't know how I'm gonna recover from this. Like, nothing else is gonna touch this movie this year. I don't think so. If this movie doesn't win movie of the year, I would be shocked. Unfortunately, I don't think Michael B. Jordan's gonna win Best Actor, but also I would really want him to. I would love for him to win Best Actor. Oh my gosh. Yeah, again, this movie just pulls so much from just Southern black culture. Now, me being someone that, of course, didn't deal with anything like that, right? To see it on screen is just a whole nother feeling. It's so raw. Kudos to the writing here. The story was fantastic, all that jazz. Now, I love the director. I feel like this is his best project, I'm not gonna lie. Some might argue that, some might agree, just saying. I don't want him to rush into his next project. I think it would make sense for him to take a couple years, maybe do some other things, and then come back and work on a movie. Do I think if he were to drop a project next year it would be bad? No, but I just don't think it would be the same. We don't need to rush directors when they drop a good movie, or we don't need to rush studios when it comes into dropping a good movie. MCU. Again, we're fighting with the vampires now, right? At this point, Delta Slim's died, unfortunately. Annie, unfortunately, was killed by Stack. When Stack tries to turn Annie, Smoke does drive a stake through her heart so she doesn't turn. Stack and Mary are disappointed. They're quite distraught about that, and they decide to leave, I guess. Granted that they just watched their friend die. I guess them being vampires now, they just didn't get that once you become a vampire, why that's bad and stuff. Like, you being stuck down here on Earth. They wanted Smoke and Annie to live with them forever. So, of course, they're sad when Annie does die. So they do flee. Perlene, Sammy's love interest, unfortunately, I got bit as well. We got 2 Asian characters in this all-black movie, and they work so well. Shout out, I don't even know how to pronounce her name. I think it's Lee Jun Lee, who played Grace. I loved her character in this movie, and her husband, Bo. The fact that they had country accents, I loved it. I'm sure they most likely lived in the South their entire lives, but it's still, you gotta understand, seeing a man and woman of Asian descent talking a Southern drawl, it's a little jarring. So, we do see all of our friends die, and it is down to Smoke and Sammy here. Again, I'm pretty sure Sammy's the protagonist here, as Stack and Smoke now get into a fist fight here. You know, Smoke trying to end Stack's life, or end his suffering, I should say, and Stack trying to turn Smoke. Sammy runs off and he tries to make it back to the car so he can get out of there safely. He does get caught, unfortunately, by Remick. Remick really likes Sammy's music, like his guitar playing, his singing, so he really wants to turn him just so he can have that around him his entire life, I guess. Now, Sammy does have this old school slide guitar. Beautiful piece of artwork. Oh my gosh. He's damn good at it too. Sammy and Remick are wrestling in the river and right in front of the juke joint. Right as Remick is about to like just end his natural life, Sammy does take the guitar and box it on Remick's head. And the silver plate actually gets stuck in his Another thing I liked about this movie real quick. The effects were on point. CGI or practical, don't care. Loved every single bit of it. Cornbread did get turned, and he was trying to trick everyone into letting him back in, but they weren't going for that. And he was a bit more suspicious now, because like, why we gotta let you in, yo big black ass? Cornbread does attack Smoke, and Smoke shoots him in the face. Because why not, right? He walked around the rest of the movie with his jaw damn near hanging off his shit. So I just love how practical we got with it when we needed to. I love the use of CGI when we needed it as well. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't overused, which I loved. I hate when a movie can overuse CGI. It just ruins it. Remick did not succumb to the silver plate in his head, so he does take it out, and now he's just gonna kill Sammy, I'm sure. So right before he does it though, Smoke from behind just drives a wooden strike straight through him, and the sun is rising at this point. Now as the sun rises, everyone, they're surrounded by all the people that have been turned. They all do burn to death here. It was actually pretty cool watching Remick burn here, because he turned into like a fire tornado. Love that. That's another fantastic shot. Now the movie does end with Sammy driving back to his father's church, and Smoke actually decides to stay behind. At some point earlier, Remick does mention, when I turn people, I get all their memories. Now the two people I turned at the beginning, they were the son of the man that sold you the mill, and they were planning to come back and kill you for it. So Smoke, I'm sure he was pissed off by that, and in fact he just lost his brother. He decides to ambush all the clan members that come back at the end, and this was such a this is another dope ass action scene, bro. The clan members do all roll up, and he just starts sniping them. It's the end of the movie. We didn't need this, but it was so fun to watch. It was so good. And oh my god, he throws a grenade in one of their trucks. He has a Tommy gun. He's blasting that hole. Oh, so good, so good. Unfortunately though, during this gunfight, Smoke does get shot. We don't exactly see him perish here, but it is implied that he dies after this gunfight. We do get a nice scene here though, where he sees Annie in a vision. Annie and their child that did pass as an early infant, and that's where we are left off. I'm not gonna lie, I hated that, but I honestly, I felt like it made sense. You know, he didn't really care anymore. He just lost his brother. He just lost the love of his life. I'm sure he just didn't have anything else to lose, you know. We actually do get a mid-credit scene and a post-credit scene. The mid-credit scene I like a lot, because we actually do see here, we're thrown 60 years in the future. Sammy, of course, being the sole survivor of this night, really, he has become a very wealthy or very accomplished musician, right? And he has a band called the Perlines. He names the band after his old girlfriend that he lost that night, which was nice, to be fair. The reason why I bring this up is because we actually find out here that Mary and Stack are both still walking, and they do visit him. They look exactly the same, but they, you know, they're rocking 90s attire. It was actually a pretty nice moment between them all. Even though he was in that big fight with Smoke, Smoke decides not to kill him, but he tells Stack to promise that Sammy will have a nice long life and to leave him be, basically. Stack can smell it on Sammy that he's gonna die soon. He says it's not too long before you go. He offers to turn him. Sammy says, you know, I've had enough of this life. But he also tells him, even though everything that happened that night before the sun went down, that was probably the best day of my life. Stack agrees, and they ask Sammy to play one of his songs before they go, because apparently they're big fans. I love that as well. They said we bought all your records. Family is family at the end of the day. That was just nice. I just like that. That is the end of the mid-credit scene. The post-credit scene is just another short of young Sam singing in the church. Again, that boy can sing, but it's not that important there. This is not getting a sequel. Yeah, that's not happening. We don't need a sequel, to be quite honest with you, so I'm perfectly fine with this being going off. But the credits do roll there, so we are going to talk about the rankings real quick before I end this off here, starting off with the writing and story. Damn. Almost perfect. The writing and story was so good here. Again, there's one or two scenes where I don't think made a whole lot of sense, or I just didn't see the value of them. I'll say that. So for the writing and story, I am going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. 9.5, people. Don't get crazy now. You know what I'm saying? That's damn near perfect. Next is going to be the sound design and the score. Again, so well done. The music, the sound effects we were hearing, bro, the score, beautiful all around. So sound design and score, not gonna lie, because of what they did with Delta Slim's telling his background story, we're hearing the story as it's being told to us. I love that so much. So this is gonna be a very, very, very rare, for me at least, 10 out of 10. Perfect. Blew me out the water with that. They did something different, they did it well, and it kicks ass. I'm not gonna lie, the sound design and score kicked ass. Now onto the casting and acting. Easily my favorite part about the movie though. You got Michael B. Jordan, you know what I'm saying? I love Annie's actress as well. Sammy's actor was great. Remig's actor was great. Haley Steinfeld. And Delroy Lindo's been around the way, so you know what I'm saying? That's an OG right there. Now mind you, I don't like all the characters. No, that's a lie. That's a blatant lie. I don't know why I try to lie like that. I'm trying to skirt around giving another 10 out of 10. You know what, just for the sake of the video, another 10 out of 10. It's gonna be a while before you see that again, I'm sure. So you know, why not? You know what I'm saying? Why not? Now for the cinematography. Holy smokes, freaking fire. A lot of these shots were so good. That scene where we transition and the juke joint was on fire, and then they have all the different eras of you know, black culture, basically black music, I gotta give it another 10 out of 10. I can't get around that. It was just that damn good. Now for the overall Sinners 2025, I'm going to throw this it's gonna be a 9.5 out of 10. You know, just because 9.75, because of that one 9.5 is that damn close to a perfect movie. I'm telling you. Argue with your moms. I'm just trying not to be biased here. That's all it is. But yeah, that was Sinners 2025. I appreciate y'all for tuning in, walking through that journey with me. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry if I rambled. This is honestly, that's what the reviews are at the end of the day. It's just me yapping. Yeah, that was it for me from here. I do appreciate y'all for tuning in. If you did enjoy that video, you can toss me one of them likes. I truly do appreciate them. They don't go without notice. Next week we will be watching The Accountant 2, debating whether or not I'm gonna do a review on it. Probably not, because I don't think it's necessary. That's gonna be for me from here. But without further ado, I'm gonna bid y'all good night, better morning, all that ish, and I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out. God bless.